My story begins with a journey to a place where the rainforest meets the sea, the Osa Peninsula, a remote stretch of dense rainforests, small fishing towns, and rocky beaches I'd read about as a young boy. A place National Geographic calls the most biologically rich terrestrial ecosystem on Earth. Although I envisioned experiencing Osa as a field biologist, collecting data to understand the place, my Costa Rican experience opened my eyes well beyond the realm of ecology. Osa taught me what it means to live a balanced life, about the importance of setting aside the academic lens and taking time to do the unplanned. I'll never forget my first introduction to Osa. I'd finished several Dartmouth biology courses and books on tropical ecology, so I felt prepared, at least academically. I was excited to work as an intern for Osa Conservation, helping with a watershed ecology project. As I bumped around in the back of our tiny plane, like the one that crashes in the second Jurassic Park film, I talked with an elderly fisherman. Acting as the good Dartmouth student, I pretended I wasn't nervous at all about the journey ahead of me, traveling alone to the center of the rainforest, to a place where I'd have to use my newly learned Spanish to interact with my coworkers. Several minutes into our formal conversation, however, the plane entered intense turbulence, and I started yelling with childlike joy, "Isn't this great?" as the fisherman puked all over his seat. I blushed and looked out the window, as I'd broken the mold of the studious and collected Dartmouth student. Over the next 2 months, I became best friends with an eclectic group of local Costa Ricans and biologists living at our tiny semicircle of bunkhouses. Initially, I tried desperately to cling to the "I'm in control" attitude and created my own daily schedule to keep on task with my research project, staying in the lab each day when Esmeralda and Manuel would hike to watch the sunset by the ocean. One day while working with Manuel, he pointed out a brilliantly colored aracari. While he paused to watch in awe, I took notes about its behavior and the fruit it was eating, and proceeded on my way. "The samples can wait," Manuel said after me as he continued examining the bird. "I don't understand you Americans, your obsession with adhering to schedules and reliance on data to experience the world around you." After watching the bird for several more minutes, he told me about the Costa Rican expression, pura vida, which he said he lives by on a daily basis. "It's kind of like Hakuna Matata, no worries," he said. "You should try it." The bird shit on my face as it flew off, as if to drive home Manuel's message. After my conversation with Manuel, I erased the daily schedule in my notebook and wrote Pura Vida on the cover. I recognized the baggage I'd carried with me from Dartmouth. Life at school had turned me into a cog in the academic machine. Now the notes filling my notebook started reflecting the unplanned daily adventures I'd have, instead of just data and field observations. I started going to the ocean at night with friends. In the mornings, I began running, a pastime I'd given up at school at the expense of 3 lab courses, and I found myself learning even more about the forest than I had during pre-planned birdwatching excursions with my field guide and notebook. The time I spent exploring paths in the morning made me recognize the pulse and layout of the jungle. I came to understand the circadian rhythm of the animals and patterns of the trees better than my textbooks could ever attempt to. I joined a soccer league with Ronaldo, our cook, and several other middle-aged Costa Rican farmers, and we'd play on cooler afternoons after a day's field work. They kicked my butt and called me many Spanish nicknames I still don't know the meaning of, and it was a blast. I felt more and more alive over those weeks, as I learned that I could quickly switch from work mode to having fun. I could do data analysis 1 minute and be my goofy self the next. Alongside my new friends, I tried a whole bunch of things that frightened me, like learning to dance bachata with Marina long into the night, and cooking Costa Rican dishes with Ronaldo in the evenings. During these adventures, when I rid of the structure, the schedule, and the need to understand through data, I learned to be confident and developed a greater sense of place. On the final day, as I waved goodbye to Manuel, Marina, Esme, and Ronaldo, I knew I'd be carrying a piece of Osa with me. Even today I carry these lessons. I know that being academic and just being in the moment are both important for making the most of life's experiences.